Hi, I'm Gary Allen, welcoming you to another landscape project. Last time we installed 40 sable palmettos around this wonderful residence. To establish some character with the architecture, we'll add plants, sod, and finish this project on today's Designer's Landscape. I'm excited about the plants we've already installed here. The Kunti palm, the gold mound duranto, and the tall paspalum grass in the corners. Now we've got square, stiff, rigid little planting areas. I want you to take note today how we run the plants in curvilinear fashion, crossing over walkways, driveways, etc., so that we can implement some curved lines and soften those stiff square corners. Now we've got dwarf roses coming, knockout roses, and another variety of plants that are going to be low maintenance and colorful, so we can give this house the best landscape that we can. Now, another thing we want to do, the homeowner wants to use some of the grasses. So paspalum grass here, the mully grass, which will give a kind of natural native look with the cabbage palms, and then the gold mound duranto. We'll see how those come into play. But since our sod has arrived, we really need to get it on the ground. Well, welcome to our backyard patio area. Really, this is an upper deck, if you will. Lower deck on the bottom. Goes right into nature on the river here. I want some smooth radiuses and some curves. We've placed some of the palms in corners and stacked them tall, medium, and small. And look at the radius here of this quarter circle patio. The brick mason is finishing up with his grout, and I'm gonna come with my paint gun right off of this line so that our turf grass will begin here and round out. Something like this in front of the palm trees and right here. Now, last time they were beginning to build our little chipping area, homeowners got a little putting green he's working on downstairs. So he'll be able to fly some soft golf balls from here to there. The guys are working on the lower deck just moments ago. I drew the curves in and they're following those lines really well. So this will be our on or off spot from the turf grass to the little chipping green. I'm going to continue that thought and head across the walkway, something like this. And I want a nice impression of plant material that crosses right over the walk. Again, we pretend like this line isn't here. And so we'll continue this and move toward this other corner. I want to show you something here because I've drawn this radius in nice and smooth. I love that curve, but we've got a little peekaboo here between the wall and the house, and most people would have turf grass peeling through here. But don't you agree that this radius looks a little better, easier to mow, and gives us an inside rounding of our upper deck area? One thing I got to be sure to do here is to bump this radius out. I'm heading back toward the walkway now. I've got to make it big enough and wide enough here to accommodate this sidewalk on the other side. This sidewalk is 12 feet wide, but another walk going to the master patio and over to the master bedroom, that's why I've had to really bump this out to include it in the bed line. So simply something like this at least ties it together, and then I'm going to blend it right back in to the walkway here, because I really like this radius. This will look good in turf grass. And this may be a side of the house you haven't seen yet. We've got a small narrow area, the walkway here, and then again this is the master. One thing worth noting, this is the north side of the house, so this shadow line will be continual all year long right along the house. That's why I put the cast iron plant here. It does well in low lit situations. But we want to introduce some turf grass, and I want to make it easy to mow, have it be a flowing line that includes this little narrow bed. So let's begin here. Turf grass towards you, planting away from you, and let's come in and make a nice radius here. Ooh, that looks pretty good. And then when I hit the sidewalk, a back door garage entry, I think I'm going to come way down here. In other words, let's have plantings where the walkway is elongated, not having a little piece of turf grass up here. And then I'll begin the swing past that and come out, curving all the way back, crossing over the walk again into here. Now I think this is going to get some turf grass here, but I may have a short little bed across from the AC pad that gives us a little gate, if you will, or a welcome spot. Why don't you hang with me and I'm going to draw the curves all the way around the rest of the house. Let's try to stay ahead of the sod guys. Well, it's almost like laying the sod is the easy part. Why? Because it needs TLC, it needs care from now on. And most critical, we're having mid 80-degree temperatures. So this is almost, I explain it like an infant child. It needs a little bit of water several to 5 times a day, 5 minutes 5 times a day per zone, rather than soaking it or saturating it. All you have to do is keep that wet, or the top wet and happy. They call it syringing with a light. Well, you can do it with a hose, but he's got automatic irrigation. So we'll turn that on, get it acclimated, and let it settle in. This is where an automatic sprinkler system pays off. We've got the system to come on about 4 times a day, 12 to 15 minutes per zone, to keep the sod really happy. I'll show you, this is the only corner or acute tip we ended up with sod. You know, I would love to have curved a radius there for the lawn, and we did it in every other location, but for traffic to get on and off the patio, to enter into the lawn space and then back to the patio, I think we're gonna have to live with that, and it'll be fine. But we have no single or solitary trees or objects to mow around. Once you get on the turf grass, it's all turf grass. No individual things to edge and mow around. I wanted to show you this a red navel orange that we've planted right here by the patio. I think this is going to pay dividends here. It'll be a patio tree, 12 to 15 foot overall height, provide some afternoon shade since this is west exposure for the patio, and with the fragrance of the flowers and the fruit right here off the patio, it's a great evergreen tree that'll look good year round. Now, as a gift, the parents of the couple here have decided to add specimens, Phoenix Robellini palms here, since we have a palm tree theme. Seems appropriate, a nice housewarming gift. And what I'm trying to do is skirt up some of the trunks to give them a little more character and also make it a little bit easier for us to install these. I've already got prickled several times. These thorns they are very real. Let me show you the one on the other side. I think these trees will look good as we skirt them up, get them in this space here, one on the other side, and then some landscape lights at night. Ooh, that'll look good. You see how I lifted this one up already. And so look at the fronds I have. A nice pile of them, you could say, but establishing that trunk character, that's gonna be nice as a small specimen here. And this tree, to let you know, Phoenix Robellini, is a little marginal in the North Florida area. Well, we're by the river, we've got some shade cover, and we're close to the house. I think that's going to make it a success. Let's put him in the ground and see what they look like. Ready? You're going to have to beat on him, huh? Yeah, he's well rooted in, very heavy. Very heavy. It's a 30 gallon palm tree, but I'm telling you what, he's every bit of a couple 100 pounds. In order to save the bucket, try to loosen the roots. Tight fibrous root system too, so it's clinged right to that bucket. Try to keep them level. All right.
One more time.
All right, we can hold him by the ponytail. I got this one and roll him to the hole. And stand him up. All right. Woohoo! We'll try to get him. All right. Let's see where the short, medium, small canes are.
All the way.
Yeah, I think our shorty is over here. So if we can put that right here where I am. Which way are you going?
That way.
All right. Just a little more. Beautiful. Let's see what that looks like. Nice. Let's pack him in. I'll trim a few more fronds off. One down, another one to go. All right. Ow. Golly. He's a wonder. Look at that solid root ball. Be careful of those fronds. So, oh my goodness.
Ready?
Let's see here. Let's put him towards that angle there, this little guy. Just turn him quarter turn. A little more? Okay. All right, let's pack him.
Better than that last one did.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. Beautiful. Beautiful. Can you imagine with some landscape lighting on there? That'll be a nice little feature coming up and going down the steps. So I thought I'd share with you a couple other varieties that we'll be using for a low ground cover, the agapanthus. That's a nice grassy green look year round. And Dr. Tinsley camellia. This is a japonica, so it'll grow larger. So we'll put it in some places where we can afford to make them into trees eventually. Down in front here, fashion azalea with that coral color. The low blue Pacific juniper, that's going to make a nice rug for us, that bluish green color. Some 3-gallon sun roses. I love that deep red cluster. These are going to look good either by the front porch and in the entryway there, coming and going. And then more low juniper and fashion azaleas. Now the 1-gallon muhly grass, these are kind of small, but for economic purposes, we've got about 60 or 70 of these that we'll put down around the natural areas, kind of in the lower deck in the back. And we know they'll grow about hip high so far. So let's see how we put these to good use. I've got one single row of the sun roses I've placed in front of the kunti palms here and really linked them together across the walkway. Can you see this line, how it'll pull together? Oh, the red roses are beautiful. Now, a second ago, I placed some of the fashion azaleas in a curve along the step here, both on the left and the right-hand side. So one thing we want to impress upon you, we're not following the shape of the squares of the house or the sidewalk. We're using curves to cross over, link, and make this thing smoother and curvilinear. I think you can see the way it's shaping up. What do you think we should use down front here? We've got a couple choices, actually more than a couple, but two thoughts are the agapanthus in 1 gallons, and then the blue Pacific juniper, nice blue color, stays low. So many varieties and variables. Which ones would you choose? Okay, as you can tell, we're using the low juniper, blue Pacific. I've got to do a straight line there, but I'll try to curve this back line to blend in easily. I've still got to make use of the gold mound duranta. I think we can set up a few of those across the back. I got to tell you about this pennisetum grass, the bluish color. I kind of like it. It's growing on me. I'll admit, I'm not a big grass guy, but we've used it close to the house on some of the corners around, and I think it makes a great foundation plant. Nice thing about these dwarf roses and even the knockouts, they don't have to be deadheaded. You don't have to pull off the old blooms. A couple things I'm checking for here. Has this been planted a little too deep from the nursery? And sometimes you get that. One thing I want to do here is make sure I don't double the problem or situation by installing him too deep. You know, the sand here in Florida percolates really well. Matter of fact, sometimes you water and it's dry hours later. But this soil has got a lot of silt in it. I can tell by when I grab that, see how it takes on the shape of your hand? That means it's a finer soil and it doesn't percolate as much. So I want to bring the crown up just a little bit, because with mulch, you know, That can make it feel like it's installed too deep as well. So I scrape away the little top collar, make sure I get down to the root zone. And then, like I said, install him about an inch up, just because this soil doesn't drain really well. Now again, I'm trying to make an impression across the walk. Now, the guys left me just a couple to install for you. So I want to make sure I tip this guy and pull him out gently so that all the fertilizer also from the nursery will go into the hole. I pack him tight and we're good to go. Now let's go forward a little bit. Let's show you before and afters of this entire project. Enjoy. Wasn't that nice? You know, sometimes in the hustle and bustle, you wonder if you're really having fun. But now that it's done, I can really say we enjoyed it. Best of health to you. I'm Gary Allen. I'll see you again soon. So long.